Hey, Dan here from SAP UK, and I'm doing my second podcast. So, hey everybody, I hope everybody's okay today and you're having a really nice day. If you aren't having a nice day and you are struggling with anything, like anything at all, just drop us a message. And so I work like this. You can always reach out to me for support, or if I can't persistently give you the support that's needed, and I'll then divert you to SAP UK. But if I can just have a quick chat and maybe like resolve or get some understanding or something, then I'll always be up for that. It's just I can't do persistent communications at the moment because that's what SAP UK is for. Anyway, so it's my second podcast, and I wanted to like come on and do a tribute to Nikki because Nikki was one of our volunteers, and sadly, she lost her life the other week. She had cancer, but even though she like had her struggles and she had cancer, she still volunteered for SAP UK, and she still give up so many hours to help people. And I wanted to just kind of like give her a moment, but it's not even going to be like a moment. She's always got space and time in my heart. Like, I love her so much, and I'll never, ever, ever forget her. She was so supportive of me, and she was like with SAP UK for 5 years, 5, 6 years. So it's a long time. It's a long time to be volunteering, like with minimal benefit. I guess the benefit for her was that she was saving people's lives and making a difference, and that is so selfless. And I think I said it on the last episode as well, but this is what all of the volunteers are like. Like people who volunteer, you don't really get, well, you do get like temporary fixes. So a lot of people only end up volunteering for a few months, but then you get those people that just end up volunteering, and it just fits the movement and the lifestyle, and just they just want to help the cause. And that was Nikki. That, and I love you so much, Nikki. I hope you're up there, and I hope you're shining bright. You will be shining bright. But yeah, so it's my second podcast, and obviously I have to do the tribute. I want to do the tribute, never mind, have to do the tribute. But the topic of today was always going to be individual differences. I think it's very important to understand individual differences and how we are each different. Now, so with individual differences, and when I first learned of it, it was about 4 years ago, and I was at uni, and one of the first lessons that we learned on was individual differences. And I was like, wow, I love it. I love how everyone is so different. I love how like people have different hobbies. I love how people like dress differently. I love how people act differently. And not necessarily act differently. Like sometimes I wish that some people would act a little differently, but obviously that's them, isn't it? And that's not me. So, and everyone like has their own temperament with different people. It's just kind of depending what they want to get from that person. But individual differences is so important to me because I'm so different for what I'm like placed in. So, if you will, like, I'm the founder of SAP UK, which is a professional service that helps people and supports people with suicidal thoughts and ideations. And then we have like groups, and we have like a lot of things going on in SAP UK. And it's so professional. And then you come to the top and you look at me and you look at my bio and everything like that. You're like, oh, this is just a kid. Everyone's literally like, oh, it's just a girl. But it doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter what my external being looks like. It doesn't matter, like, what I wear. It doesn't matter how I talk. It doesn't matter what I do. But the main thing that matters is what goes on inside of my brain. And I'm here to prevent suicide. And I always will be here. It's my purpose on this life. Like, or not on this life, it's my purpose on this earth to prevent suicide. And you know what? Sadly, sometimes I think, is that the only reason why I'm here on this earth is to save other people, and regardless of whether I'm happy or not, like it's just my purpose. And I think a lot of people need to find the purpose in order to be able to live like a healthy full life, because I think it is important to have like a purpose or a goal or some form of like ambition or something that you want to work to. It's very important to have something like this to ensure that you're always like challenging yourself, if anything. And I like the individual differences side. It is so important that everybody understands that everybody's different. Like these days, you will get people working in tattoo studios who don't have tattoos. You will get people who work in makeup art as a makeup artist who doesn't wear makeup. You will get doctors with like tattoos and stuff like that. You will get like doctors who have like goth traits and stuff like that. It's just everybody's so different. You can't like categorize. Like girls are doing mechanics and like stuff like that now. It's just you can't judge somebody by the way they are. Like people can't or shouldn't look at me and go, hmm, because she's immature and not professional. It must mean that what's been created is immature and not professional. And I think it's really, really sad that people actually judge people like, on this kind of external thing that can't be controlled. Like, I didn't choose to dress the way that I dress, and I didn't choose to be the way that I am. It's kind of like chosen for you, isn't it, really? Like, you, your whole being's chosen for you, and it's like you can influence yourself to um, be a certain way, and you can like encourage certain traits. But all in all, if you weren't that person, you wouldn't be doing it anyway. So, for like example, I've got like dreadlocks and stuff, and I love having like 8 to 10 dreadlocks, and that is me. Like I put that on me, and that's just the way that my movement goes. That's my individual difference. I love dreadlocks, and I think a lot of people have like things like that that they love as well, and people might not like them. Well, people won't like that. There will be people who will not like my dreadlocks, but there'll be people who do, and like that is why individual difference is so important because if you have like let me bring in this kind of example. So when you're driving on the road, you're always going to get different style drivers. You're always going to get the ones that want to go fast. You're going to get the ones that want to go slow. You're going to get the ones that don't have a clue what's going on. You're going to get the ones that like pushing in. You're going to get so many different drivers. And the thing is, always people get so angry on the road. Like I'm one of them. I get so frustrated on the road because people just stress me out. Like don't pull out in front of me and then go like 20 miles per hour. Like absolutely not. I'm going to be fuming. Like my ADHD traits just don't allow me to have this like patience and unfortunately, I just my my biggest anger is on the road, and it's because people just don't know what they're doing on the road. And it's really ridiculous. I think every so often people should have to retake the test. Like they definitely should. Going too slow on the road should be illegal, and people should get points for that because it's frustrating. When you're on like a 30 road and you've got someone going like 20 miles per hour, that is so frustrating. But it's individual differences. It's how everyone's different. Maybe that person just doesn't want to drive fast. Maybe like that person is taking the time. Maybe they've got like 20 minutes to get somewhere. And it's only a 5 minute drive. There's so many reasons. And another thing that really stresses me out on the road as well is when you let somebody go or you let someone pass and then they don't like say thank you. Like what is all that about? Like, why not say thank you? It's very, very rude. Like, I've just waited for you and you've passed me and you're just passing by. But then it happened to me like a bit after. So I was driving and someone let me through. And I was completely in my own little world. I was so in my like own bubble. I had no like idea of what was going on around me because sometimes I just zone out and I ended up zoning out and I ended up passing somebody and they beeped at me as if to say, if you don't say thank you. And then I was like, oh shit, oh that's I feel really bad. So then I was like, oh thank you. But that's what I mean. Like that's like not that's what I mean. But I always got really frustrated with people when they didn't say thank you. And then when it happened to me and I was kind of not present at the time, it's like, oh well maybe that is what happens. Maybe some people just are not present at the time and they're not actually that rude. But individual differences is incredibly important in so many aspects. Important in friendships, it's important in relationships, it's important in work, it's important in like education, and in the fact that everybody's different is moving itself because if you have like such an indifferent team, you have so many aspects of the team that are being covered by all these differences, and someone's got like a strength here and a weakness there, and there's a strength here, weakness there, strength, and it's just literally like that. Like it's so encouraging that everybody is so different, and that some people will not just follow suit and just do what they're supposed to do, and like the ambition that some people have and the motivation to like think outside the box is absolutely amazing. Like I've got well, of course I've got the most beautiful team ever. Like SAP UK has the best, most caring, loving, selfless team ever. And you know what? I will completely own that, and I'm so proud and like excited about who these people are because even like from even from like just the new volunteers and stuff, like hearing their story and how they want to prevent suicide and why they want to prevent suicide is so like amazing. Everyone's got such a different background as to why they are here preventing suicide with SAP UK. But like, so we've got like the volunteers who are like on the chat line, then we have like the managers who are all amazing. Like some of these managers have been doing volunteering for like over a year, and it's like you're volunteering for over a year. Like you are an absolute angel. What a beautiful person you are. Like, and do you know what? We're all volunteers. Like I'm a volunteer. All the directors are volunteers. There's literally no benefit from this, and that's what like my purpose is. My purpose is to prevent suicide. I don't need to have a benefit from it. Like I don't need to have like X Y Z because I'm preventing suicide. I just want to prevent suicide because I lost to suicide, and I'm still losing to suicide, and I've got suicidal thoughts, and suicidal thoughts are so draining and so debilitating and so reducing, isolating, putting you in solitude. Like they are the worst to have to experience, and especially like so when I first experienced my like suicidal actions and tendencies, I was like 15, 15. Yeah, I was 15. No, no, it might have been 17 actually. 15 or 17. Anyway, and then like experience them then, and then the kind of like a big setback. You're like, oh fuck, like wow, I didn't realize kind of thing. And then the years go on, and then you experience them again, and it's like, oh wow, I've been down this path before. I've learned this path. Like, oh, here we are again. And then you beat it again, and then like you experience it again, and it's like right, okay. And as you get older, experiencing these suicidal thoughts that you're trying to push away and you really really don't want, it gets more embarrassing for yourself and reducing, and it's like, why at my age in my 30s, when I have just conquered so much throughout my whole life, why am I now experiencing suicidal thoughts? And it's like, why are they like invading my space? And I think it's because it's one of my individual differences. I've I've always been like quite a depressed child. Like I'm not, well, I'm still probably a child. Like I've got a mentality of a 13-year-old, I'd say at points, and I've still got like this mentality in so many areas. And because I was like a depressed child, and I was quite sad. Like it's just rolled onto me as an adult, and I am a sad girl. I'm a very very happy sad girl. Like, I have moments where I'm so happy, but then I have moments where I'm so sad, and the sad moments like kind of overrule like the good. But do you know what? I'm just like, well, like healthy-ish. Like I'm okay. I've got things that I need. I've got my beautiful like boy. I've got my animals. I've got like my fish. I've got my van. I've got my home. I've got my beautiful like friends. I've got my brothers, and I'm so grateful for that. So grateful, but I'm still sad. Like I could. I'm still sad. I'm still very, very sad, and it is it's sad itself, but I'm still okay. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not super sad, but I'm not happy. I'm settled. Is that I could just do that? Yeah, I'm settled. That's what it is. I'm settled, and I think like maybe this year, maybe this year I might come away from the sadness, but I think the sadness has just got a hold of me because of how I was so sad when I was a little girl, and how I was just kind of like learned those behaviors to just be like sad, just be sad on my own, and kind of just sit there and be mellow and like have no emotion in my being. I can sit there with people and they'll ask me if I'm okay several times because I don't look okay, but I am okay. If I'm not okay, like I will tell um somebody that I'm not okay. Like if it is that bad, I will just say I'm not okay. I'm clocking off for a little bit. I'm having some me time. It's because I always tell people to reach out if you're struggling, reach out if you're struggling, and 100% reach out if you are literally suicidal actions. You need to safeguard yourself, and that's what you do by reaching out. So if you are struggling with suicidal thoughts, literally, or suicidal actions, and you are scared for your own safety, you need to tell somebody that you are scared for your own safety, and then they know, and that is you safeguarding yourself. And I'll get into that more on another episode because I think when I went through my suicidal thoughts as an adult, like I kind of understood more how to safeguard myself and how to heal myself in good manner. And I think it's very important to know this yourself. Because do you know what? Life is not easy. Life is not easy for so many people. And there's so many people in this world that just don't have like certain things that some people have. And it creates it can create a lot of negative traits for a person. And I guess like in the world, as everyone is different, we do kind of need like all these different personalities. We need like the sad people, we need the happy people, we need the motivated people, we need the like then we actually need like the narcissistics and the D heads and stuff like that. And we need these people to remind ourselves of who we aren't, like the negative people we need. And these people, they kind of like show us other traits that we don't want. So, like growing up, I learned a lot not what to do. I didn't learn what to do, I learned not what to do. And then I kind of like made my own footing from that. And I guess like it's always been like my superpower really. Like I can go days and weeks without speaking to anybody. Like I'm so in solitude. I love my own space. I really love my own space. And I don't appreciate it when people come into my space and ruin my vibe. Like I really don't like that because I am so busy. I've got so much to do, and I literally this year have cut off so many people purely for the fact that I am so busy and I've got so much to do and I've not been well and I just need to be on my own. And I love this stuff. I love that I've kind of gone this year. I've wiped my slate clean and I'm ready to like restart over. I'm ready to like get my people back and well the people that I choose back. And I want to have like a healthy circle and stuff like that. And I have got a healthy circle. It's just I'm a bit far away from my circle now. So I'm moved out of town again. So I'm not actually in my hometown. So I haven't got any local friends. But I don't really care about that because I love solitude anyway. And I've got my PlayStation. So I just downloaded a new game yesterday as well. So I'm well excited for that. But um, anyway, we'll fly back to individual differences. And to be fair, I don't think I'm going to be able to chat like a full hour on individual differences because, like, there's not, there is so much to kind of like talk about, but there's not much that you can really like. Yeah, I reckon I would be able to do an hour actually because there is so much to like get into. Like, one of my most favorite things to talk about and get into is the Big Five personality test. Like, have you done the Five? Have you done the Big Five personality test? It is so worth it. So it kind of like works on a like, it's got like five parts to it, and it's like the acronym OCEAN, and it's for openness, conscientiousness, agreeableness, extroversionness, and neuroticism, neuroticism. I can't even say that word properly. And it kind of like gives you a test, obviously, and you have to like click which one's more you, are you more this, more that, and it tells you like your personality traits. And I'll link it in this podcast actually, and then let me know what you got if you're looking into it because I think it's so important that as we are all different, that you learn your own negatives and positives. You learn what makes you feel negative, you learn what makes you feel positive, and you go towards these. So anything that makes you feel negative and how everyone is so different, like people won't have the same negatives. Like let's give some negatives. So a negative would be a sort of a trigger. So a person might be triggered by like I can't think properly straight right now. But it's basically like I'm just saying, go towards your positives, head towards them, your glimmers, the things that make you happy. And I think I can probably I'll talk more on the glimmers first. So, like, glimmers are more like your hobbies. So, I love painting, I love like listening to music, I love going on walks, I love like just dossing about and stuff like that. And they're my positives and my glimmers. And glimmers can also be people. So you can have like favorite people, you can have like people that you love, people that love you. And these parts are so important to ensure that you do have at least like three positives in your life, like on the daily. So I've got like three dopamine hits every day. I've got my children, so I've got my little boy, and I've got my cat and my dog, and obviously I've got my fish too. So they're all like dopamine hits, and this is what I mean by like chase your dopamine hits. Like if you haven't got anything around you at the moment that is not making you, no, if you haven't got anything at the moment that's making you feel positive, then you should try and find something. So there are a lot of like groups and stuff like that. I'm actually lifting a group up in Longridge. I'm doing an independent parent one coming towards the end of June, and then I'm doing a suicide prevention one in Preston. And I think the suicide prevention one is so important to do for me because Preston has got one of the highest suicide rates in the whole of the UK. And just strangely, fatally enough, like I'm in Preston now, like this is now my hometown. And I know that I've been placed here for a reason. Like I've been through what I've been through. I've gone through what I've gone through. I've climbed out what I've climbed out. I've climbed out of holes. Like I've literally come through so much. And it's I've gone through all that so that I am the best person to prevent suicide. Like I have been through so many different life aspects, like to homelessness, to alcoholism, to drug abuse, to sexual exploitation, to mental abuse, to like so many things that I've been through that I can help somebody else with. And do you know, like I think I might have spoke about this in the last episode, but every person is different, and obviously, I've already said that like 100 times. That I will repeat myself sometimes, and do you know what? I don't actually like repetition. Repetition really stresses me out, but I will actually repeat myself quite often. But so when I was, oh no, what if I just throw myself completely off there now? And this is why you should write things down, but I just can't write things down. Because if I was to read off a piece of paper, I wouldn't be able to read off a piece of paper because I'll mix words up and stuff like that. So I'll end up making words and they just doesn't make sense. And I can't remember like 100% what I touched down in my last um episode. I should have really listened to it like prior to this and done some research on it and seen what I spoke about, but I'm pretty sure that was just an introduction. I don't think I really spoke about like individual differences and things like that, like at all. And I can't remember what I was just saying. I know what it was. So what I was saying was because they're all different, we're all like susceptible to different people. So you like who you like kind of thing. And in like an educational setting, a support setting, a like work setting, anything like that, you will be drawn to your people. So you go to who you go to. And I found that in like a lot of settings, there was certain people that I were more susceptible to learning with, as opposed to not. Like there was some people that I just couldn't learn from, and I really struggled to understand and like engage with the um person to learn. I really found that part difficult. But there were some people that I found really engaging, and it was so easy for me to learn. And this is what I was trying to like touch base on, that each person learns differently from somebody else. If you're a teacher, you aren't going to have 100% work ethic from your students because not all of them are going to be able to learn from you. And this is another individual difference that like people should understand. It's like self-awareness really, that you aren't everybody's cup of tea, and there will be people that don't like you, and there will be people that like hate on you like secretly. And taking that from the classroom. I was literally just saying about the classroom and how like students and now like hating each other. I mean like just in all kind of aspects, you will get people who aren't favoured towards you, as opposed to people who are favoured towards you. And those people, they will literally jump out like fires. They will be you will know when you find your people. Your people come to you like absolute rockets and they stay, they don't move and stuff like that. And it's very important to keep all those people as well because not everybody gets those people and not everybody gets those feelings. Not everybody gets those moments. I think it's very, very important to look after who you've got. And that's one of my individual differences anyway. Like if you look after me, I'll look after you. Simple as that. Like I don't look after somebody who's not looking after me, and I don't literally compete with somebody either. Like I will never be in competition with anybody. I have never like I listened to one podcast the other day because I thought "Oh, I'm gonna have to like listen and see what's what. And this podcast they were kind of just talking about themselves. Obviously you've got to talk about yourself to some degree. Like I have to bring in my own personal views to it because it's my podcast anyway, and it's good to understand from different points of view. Anyway, so I was listening to this podcast and she was literally just talking about herself the whole way through. Pull it through the whole 2 minutes I listened to it. I listened to 2 minutes. And I was just do you know what it is? I've said this before, I just can't listen properly. Like I can listen like in bits and bats, but I can't listen properly. And one of my exes used to say that, it's like, are you even listening to me? I was like, yeah, I wasn't. It's not the fact that I was embarrassed to say I didn't hear a flipping word that you just said, mate. Like, nah, I didn't hear nothing. But it's because I was young then as well. Like, it was just embarrassing to think, oh shit, like I've just let this person down a little bit by not listening. But it's also not my fault because ADHD like kind of stops you from being able to listen. It's such a weird brain movement because if you have ADHD, you understand that when you are trying to focus on something and you have no ability to focus on this thing, or if you are trying to engage with information and store this information in your brain, you can end up getting so stressed out to the point where you want to throw your laptop out the window because you just can't process it. And I really struggle with this in uni as well. So when I'm like reading things, I don't pull it in properly. So if I was to read a question and it'd say something like distinguish the difference between compatibility and something else, and I would read it wrong and I would produce the word wrong. Like there's so many times that I did a full essay or assignment and then I went to my tutor because it would take weeks for some the tutor to get back sometimes. So I'd kind of like ask the question, do my full assignment based on what I thought was right, and then I'd get the feedback from my professor like after a few couple of weeks, and it'd be like, oh, I have done this wrong. I have done this all wrong. I'm gonna have to do it again, and that was my difficulty. And I found that well, I think if you've got ADHD and stuff, that you will also struggle with this, and it's so stressful because it does make you feel invalid and it makes you feel like, why can't I sit there and focus and study like everybody else is doing? And it's so like reducing because some people just aren't in that kind of category. Like I'm more like hands on, I'll learn more hands on, which is where I've learned like most of my um my suicidal knowledge. What? Suicidal knowledge. Yeah, that's actually right. That's where I learnt like most of my experience and my knowledge and every part of my being has been from personal experience with suicide. Like I've learned from the textbooks, of course, but learning suicidality and suicidology from a textbook, it's not the same as experience. And I think a lot of this in the world is from hands on rather than textbook. I think a lot of things are more easier learned. Like even before, like we had colleges and universities, people had just had to learn by like learning anyway, and you kind of just was drawn towards what you were good at. And everybody's good at something else. Like everybody's got different like different like qualities about them, and I really like this. I love meeting new people and being like, oh, these that's your hobby, that's really sweet. And like how everyone has like different movements and motives and morals, and I think like the most important thing is with like individual differences. It is like the morals and stuff. It's like everybody does have different morals. And I think it's really, really important to find your people with the same morals as you, because you can't be on the same page as somebody if they don't have the same morals. Like if you're not both working towards the same goal, then it's pointless this person being within your space if you're not working towards the same goals. And individual differences can cause clashes, they can cause like cause so much. You could have two completely opposite people like meeting, and these two people be absolute polar opposites, but it's fire and it's absolutely excruciatingly well bonded. And like even though you should find people like with like similarities and stuff like that, I think as long as they've got the same morals and same morals as you, then you'll be okay with this person, because morals are the most important. Morals are like your standards, your boundaries, your like what makes you you. So my like one of my full life movements always will be fucking kind. Just be nice, just help people out like if they need it. Just don't be a dick. Don't like don't take advantage of somebody. Like, don't see somebody who's so kind and then like take the mick out of them. Like, I literally will not speak to that person ever again. And I don't like people who have no respect. Like, I think that's one of the big problems in the world right now, is that we don't respect each other. We don't consider somebody else. Like, if you're going to do something that consciously, if you consciously make a choice that you know would hurt you if it was done to you, then why are you doing that? Why are you being that person? But I guess like we need people like that to show us what not to be, to show us what we don't want, to show us who we don't want to like be around. And that's okay. That is okay that people pass through. And it's okay if you like if someone's not on your page. There's millions of people in this world. There's so many people in this world. There will be so many people who will be on your page. And it's very important that if you are struggling in like some form of relationship or friendship or something where it doesn't feel like it's a mutual bonding, or you're not on the same page, or it feels like you're giving more than what you're getting, then you need to move on. You need to literally go, this is not for me, and move on. Like I said, there's so many people in this world, and there's so many people that will love you and care for you the way that you need and deserve to be. And it's not hard. Like a lot of people, like my like kind of one of my morals is just be nice and just make time for me. That is all. Like I literally don't want like I don't want to go on holiday. I don't need to pay for holidays. I don't want anybody to like pay for me. I don't want like people to go out the way. Like I don't need somebody to be that person. I just want to be felt safe. I just want to feel like I'm not like being taken for a mug. I don't want to be a fool. Like, and I'll always say that to people. I'll like it's one of my standards. Just don't make me like a fucking fool. If you do, then go. Like it's not hard. It's not hard to not make somebody look foolish. Like, oh, sorry, my computer switched off then. So it didn't actually switch off, like the screen went, but I didn't realize it was still recording. So I just like have to pause. But yeah, and that's like individual differences. And I think as long as you're like strong and you're confident and proud of who you are, then you should be okay. But if you aren't proud of who you are, or you are like struggling because you have like some form of negative traits, then just kind of understand your negative traits. Just kind of go like, why am I acting like this? Why am I behaving like this? What is it that's doing this? So I found that I was very like avoidant, and I was kind of like, so if there's ever like a stress something like that, I'm always like, nah, do you know, I'd rather just sit here like in quiet and like not bother with that. But and then like it got to a point where this was actually quite difficult for me to like be with, because I was like, why can't I just face confrontation? And then I realized why, and I kind of went, that's my negative trait. This is why I have this negative trait. And like it helped me so much. Like I'm really, really insecure. I'm so insecure. Like, but this it develops back from when I was a child. From because this like psychology says that if a parent or a caregiver doesn't provide sufficient support or nourishing or well-being, then this person can struggle. And I think it's like one second. Oh, I just had to like just jump off a second then. But I think I was like kind of on the with the parental support. So psychology says that when a parent isn't there to support a child, this child can develop like insecurities, and there's no security for this child to have to go through. So as a child, I was always like alone, independent, in solitude, and this is what I learned. And because I was let down by my parents, I have no security in this kind of sense. So I've really, really, really struggled with insecurities and like just generally like just feeling secure. And it's been really, really difficult for me to like just to feel this kind of like security and stuff like that. But then I kind of like as I got older, I created this security for myself. And like um I always got like over the years, it's always made me sad and broke my heart like at times to think that I wish I did have like a strong, stable family like around me. And I wish that I had like, do you know what I mean? I was invited to like places and stuff like that with the family, but at the same time, like now as I'm older, those just aren't my people, and that's just been made clear. And I'm okay with having like zero to no family, like zero in this sense, because I know that I'm going to create my own family. I've got my family now. Like part of I don't have a full family, but obviously like I am like an independent person at the moment. So like when I do get my family, like that'll be my family, and I'll make sure that my family's stable and secure for the generations to come. And that'll be like my generational breakthrough, because I won't ensure that like my children have no like grandma or granddad. And I'll ensure that if my brothers have children, that I'm a really good auntie, and I'll make sure that like I'm there for them and stuff like that. And I think that's like so important. Like, and do you know, I used to get so jealous and bitter and stuff like that, and it used to really stress me out. And people like, oh, I'm jealous of like your hair. I'm jealous of like the way that you dress, your style and stuff like that, or the way that you look. And I'm like, I'm jealous that you've got a family. I'm jealous that you have like a mum to go to. I'm jealous that you have a dad to go to. I'm jealous that you have like all these like grandmas and granddads that support you and stuff like that. And that for me has always been a huge thing for me, and it's made me so insecure because people do just leave. Like I learned that at a very young age, that people do just leave, and if they don't care about you, they do not care about you, and they will leave. Luckily enough for me though, is from having this like developmental issue as a child, as an adult, I have no problem with leaving. I have no problem with leaving someone where they're at. I have no problem with that at all. If somebody's absolutely destroying my vibe, or if someone is deterring my vibe, or if someone is making me feel bad, or if someone is literally like taking the mick out of me, I will leave, and I have no conscious thought about looking back. Like, of course, I'll think, I wish this happened, but it's not my it's not my temperament. It's others' temperament. You can't change people. You can't sit and say to somebody, I want you to treat me like this because I want you to. No, like, do you know what I mean? You can't tell people how to treat you. You just can't. It's on them. Like, if they want to treat you like that, leave them to treat you like that. Leave them to treat you like that. Like, move on. Get other people. So many people in this world that love you for who you are. And I've like learned that so much this year, that people are like actually like seasons. They will just pass by. And people they pass by with a flipping straw. They suck all the energy out of you and then they go. But you just got to be aware of these people that aren't for you. And I think you will kind of see the people that aren't for you. And I hope you see it in good times, that you're not like wasting any time, or you're not like being made to look like a fool or anything like that. Um, but always remember that these people that treat you bad, it's not you. You are not the problem. It's them. They are who they are, and you can't change that. You can't force somebody to be kind to you. You can't force somebody to put you first. You can't force somebody to prioritize you, even just for like a little bit. You can't force people to do that. People do what they do. And if they aren't like tending to you, or they aren't like making you feel good, then it's obviously their choice that they don't want to make you feel good. So leave them, let them, let them be. And the thing is as well is that like I think as the years go by and as we do get older and like more understanding of ourselves and others around us and stuff, it makes us more conscious to having choices and being able to go, this isn't actually okay for me. I want a different lifestyle to what has been given to me. I don't want this. And it does make you more stronger and more capable to be able to let things go and move on. And well, I guess this is for me anyway, like my individual differences is that I am really strong and I am able to move on. And God, it like a lot of times when I have to like move on from a person or move on from an event or an action or something that's traumatic that's happened, like I do move on with a broken heart. I will literally close my phone off. I'll not speak to anybody, and that's me for days because I take hits. So I'll take a hit and then I won't realize, but when I take a hit, it kind of like knocks me down. It reminds me of how solitude and isolated I am. And although it's by choice, it kind of like when you're in that depressive state, or when I'm in one of my episodes, it all kind of just like bundles all in one. So I get like, oh, you haven't got any periods, or you haven't got any like family, or you haven't got like loads of money, or you haven't got like this. And it's just like, it's just a feeling that it makes me feel like, what is the point in me even being here? Like, I'm literally just giving, 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 and not receiving anything back. And I think that's such a difficult thing for me. Like, I always end up feeling like that, like I'm always giving too much and never getting anything back. But that's one of my individual differences. That I will always, always, always go above and beyond for my people. I'll make you feel loved. I'll make you feel cared for, because it's not nice not feeling like that. It's not nice feeling like you're just easy to throw away, or like easy to just walk past or get over or get past or not speak to ever again. Like it's difficult. It's really, really difficult to feel like that. And I think like as a child and when I felt like that, it was a lot more difficult at the time for me than what it is now. Like as a child, like I was always kind of longing for that love from my parents. I was always wishing that my dad got me a birthday card and my dad would take me out. I'd wish that my mum would like spend some more time with me and stuff. And then it's like, well, it doesn't matter about stuff like that now. It doesn't matter about stuff like that now because I'm older now. I'm grown. Like I'm an adult. I've got my own family. Like I am ready to be this person in my people's lives. That I will be a mother, I'll be an auntie when the time is right, I'll be a grandma, I'll be like I'll be the best friend to all my people, and that's me. That I will always, always, always be like this. And I'm trying my best. In fact, I have done throughout life. I've made sure that it's not made me bitter. I've made sure that no matter what has happened to me, I'm still like fully capable of giving love, receiving love, like giving kindness, receiving kindness. I've always made sure that I'm still within these grounds. That I will never, ever, ever be a bad person to anybody. Like, I have been bad previously. Can't 100% think of anything like super bad that I've done, but I know that I've not treated people kindly. I know that I'll have broke somebody's heart. I know that I'll have done something that has upset somebody, but it's never been like on purpose. I've never gone like, oh, I'm going to consciously do this. It's either I've been stuck in a position or I've like I've not really had a choice. And sometimes, like, it's so much easier to, like, do things as opposed to saying, no, I don't want to do this. And I really struggle with that as well, like saying no. I really struggle with saying no. I think a lot of people kind of struggle with saying no, and I've learned that, like, this year that a lot of people are similar to me, and I've got those people around me. I've got these people around me. Like at SAP UK, I've pulled in the best family. Like all of the girls there, all of the girls, and even the guys when they come in, like all literal mirrors of what SAP UK is all about. And if you was to like individually meet these people, and I've like met some of them, oh my God, they are so beautiful. So beautiful. I get so overwhelmed at nice people. Like I love people who are kind. I love like people who are cute and bubbly and do you know what I mean? Like go out the way to do things for people. I love them people. Like come to me. I will look after you and you look after me. Like those people because what I find with those people as well, and it's not just me, is that we get absolutely terrorized. Like people take the absolute mick out of us, and we end up really, really sad. And it genuinely is not just me. I am not the only sad girl in this on this planet. I know that there are so many sad, happy girls. The ones that will go out the way and do things for people. The ones that will always make sure you're okay. The ones that will message you when you're quiet. And I know that there are so many people like that who are these people and then they can do all this for somebody, and the next minute they're alone on their own, like crying in heartbreak. And that makes me so sad to think that there's so many people like that out there who don't have this chance and who don't have like opportunities that some people have and really, really struggle with like a lot of things, but still go out the way to help somebody else. And I think that is like one of the most beautiful things in this whole world. It's like they're the salts of the earth. um, they're the people that we have to look after. They're the people that we actually need. We need the people like that the most, and we need to make sure that we keep them happy because um, not long ago, like last year, there was a girl who was local to me, and she took her own life. And do you know what? Like now, I know exactly what happened to her brain. She was so beautiful. I know that she was one of those girls that was absolutely the kindest soul. But because she was beautiful and because she was kind and because she had like so much going for her, she didn't get any like support. And because she didn't get any support, it made her feel like isolated and not good enough and like not okay. And then she had like some more distress, and obviously it just got too much for her. And then um, she took her own life. But I think that's what a lot of these young, beautiful girls are doing is that they are young and beautiful and they are pure and they're angels and they literally are angels. They're angels that have been sent down from up there. And we don't look after them. We don't treat them okay. These people that are so beautiful are getting withered because of the people on this earth, because of people who are not kind, to people who don't consider other people, to people who have no respect for other people. And you're reducing these people, you're reducing these angels. And some of these angels have to, well, not have to, but some of these angels end up going back home. And not by like, it's not by like they're doing. A lot of them are taken by suicide because of the fact that they don't feel good enough, the fact that they feel like they're out of place or like on the wrong planet, if you will. And I think that's really sad. I think that's really, really sad that we have people on this earth that are so good, but get so reduced because of somebody else, because somebody else can't manage or maintain that this person is so good, so they bring them down. And do you know what? If you are one of these little angels, can pop me a message anytime because I will love you and I will care for you and I will literally be kind to you and I will, I'll just literally mirror. And luckily I've got a lot of these people around me at SAP UK. But unfortunately, I have met a lot of people that have made me feel bad, and it has been for like no other reason other than like bitter and jealousy and anger. And it's, I don't think that's okay. But I think like I'm coming on 50 minutes. I said I was coming on 50 minutes on the last episode, but I wasn't. I was like 42 minutes something. I was being a bit sneaky. I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll just do like 50 minutes. I'll try and do a little bit of a waffle. But um, as always, if you are struggling, if you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideations, or you know somebody is struggling, literally pop me a message. You can send me a message. If I don't get back to you within the hour, I've probably caved. Probably got my phone off caving somewhere. No, but just message SAP UK, because SAP UK is a mirror of me. I made SAP UK just so that if I wasn't there, that somebody like me was. And I think that's very important to have like those people. And I will very proudly say that I'm a good, safe person. Like, you can come to me and you'll be safe in my aura. I'll not bring you into my space and then push you out my space and laugh at you. I won't bring you into my space, push you out my space and disrespect you. I won't bring you to my space and then push you out my space and make you feel uncomfortable. Like, I will literally make you feel safe. I'm a safe person. And that's what SAP UK is too. We're all safe. We're independent, we're confidential, we're insured, and we're private. That's confidential, isn't it? But what you say at SAP UK stays. And I need everybody to know that. It's the reason why I'm here doing this podcast. It's the reason why my whole being is even here, to prevent suicide. Like, as I said previously, it's my. I don't even get a gain. Well, I do get a gain from it. I get to save people's lives. That's my game. But I need to log off now, and I hope everybody has a really, really good day. And if you do need support, remember, reach out. Get me on Danny's Ace, so DANISACE. I am on like mainly Instagram, um, but I think sometimes like communications are so difficult. I've got like 38 unread messages on Instagram, and I was thinking I'll catch up with them. And I thought, bloody hell, I don't even think I haven't got the space or the time to even catch up with them at the moment. But just know that, like, if you, well, these 38 messages, by the way, they aren't like messages of people with suicidal thoughts. Like, they know that if they are struggling, they go to SAP UK. Like, I genuinely just chatting to people, but I haven't got the communications at the moment, because what ends up happening with me is that, like, I have so much communications at SAP UK that I don't have time or the energy to then give some more communications. And that's probably why I'm in solitude a lot, because SAP does actually take up a lot of my my talking. But it's all for a good cause, and I'll never stop doing it. I'll never stop preventing suicide, because I'm never gonna stop doing it. But I need to log off now. But I hope you're all okay, and I'll catch up with you next week. And remember, keep peace and keep love. All right? Peace and love. Keep it real.